Welcome back to the misty fields of Perthshire in bonny Scotland. And I'm afraid it's raining again. The weather forecast was 100% that it was to be dry, but there is hope because there's a bit of blue sky just up there. So I'm back out on the new permission, another field, another new field. The one with all the crop marks is just on the other side of the road. And I thought, because there's a beautiful, there is a beautiful house, which I looked online. It dates to 1702, so it's over 300 years old. And there's a good chance there was an earlier house there before, but it has lots of architectural features on it, which includes some medieval stonework. Now that could have come from miles away, or it could have come from next door. I don't know. But I'm going to detect this field that takes us right up to the house. And then I'm going to jump around into neighbouring fields, depending on what we find. And no Simon today, unfortunately. He's tied up with his kids, and then he's going away. He's gone away on a wee holiday. So no Simon, just me. So let's see if there's any treasures to be found. A screamer of an 88. 87, 88, we've only been going for 2 minutes. Did I see a bit of lead in the hole? Possibly. Maybe. I think I might have. Maybe it was a white stone, but that's not it. Oh, it's round. Oh, I thought it was a coin. It's not a coin. I think it's another horse pendant. I think it is a horse pendant. Brilliant. A great start. It looks like a star design. I've had one of these in the past, so let me give it a wee clean up and get back to you. Well, it's a shame Simon wasn't here, because it would have been nice if he'd have found this and got a whole one after his unfortunate breakage on the last one, but that's what I think it is. I think it's a horse pendant. It would have pivoted there, and it was probably brass or copper. It would have been bright gold coloured, and it was just decoration for the horses, the Shire horses, the big Clydesdales. People keep correcting me and say they're not Shire horses, they're Clydesdales, but I call them both. But there we are. So yeah, probably 1800s, maybe into the beginning of the 1900s. But a relic on the first hole. Brilliant. Just 1 minute later, 86. Sounds a bit erratic. I think it's going to be junk. What's that? Well, that's it. What is it? It's quite heavy. It's either lead or it's bronze. One or the other. Let's see what colour it is. Looks like bronze. So, well, it's a thing. Could be any age. Sounded like aluminium, but it is a copper alloy. It's got a bit of paper in it. You can just see the edges of the paper. Not sure what it is though. Maybe, I don't know, maybe part of an old razor or something like that, but first weird object. If you know, comment below. This is a screamer. I'll weigh up at 99. May well be a brass doorknob. Still in search of my first bit of silver. Well, way down to 89 now. But I think it's going to be brass or copper. Well, what do I know? That's a massive coin. We are off to a great start. It's not a cartwheel penny. Is it a cartwheel penny? No, I don't think it is. I think it's a whole penny, but it might be Georgian maybe. Well, I've only been going for 14 minutes and we're in with coin number 1. Right, I'll let this dry out delicately and then I'll get the bendy thumb on it. A lot of people ask, why do I not wet coins? The only coins I wet are silver ones, unless they look incredibly stable. Don't ask me why, I'm sure there's some incredible scientific reason, but even though the coins are in soil and they're getting wet, for some reason if you add water to a coin that's just come out of the ground, it can just lose its surface. So you're best not to. You just let it dry out for 4 or 5 minutes, get the old bendy thumb on it if you've got one, and then see if you can get any detail. So I'll be right back to you. What a phenomenal start. It is a very, very chunky penny, copper penny, and you can just see Britannia seated on the back there. There's also a date, which I think is 1771. So it is George III, Mr. Potato Head. And it looks like a 1 penny rather than a half a penny. On the other side, it's not in great condition, but there's just enough detail that you can see the head of George III looking to the right hand side. So 1760 to 1820, 60 years on the throne. Famous, unfortunately for him, for the madness of King George. And it was probably pyphoria, I think is how you pronounce it. Some people say he could have also been bipolar as well. But he married his wife, Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg. They had, I think, 14 children, which is pretty incredible. And towards the end of his reign, around about 1810, he had another terrible bout of mental health problems, from which he never recovered. His son, the future George IV, the Prince of Wales, he took command of the kingship. He became what was called regent from about 1810 until George's death in 1820. And his physicians treated him pretty awful. They gave him lead. They gave him enemas, which were, well, they were awful. They were based on, it was mercury. So yeah, poor old George, no wonder he didn't survive. In fact, it's amazing that he survived as long as he did. But that is a great start. I was hoping for something Georgian, given the house at the end of the field. And that is fantastic, 14 minutes in. We have another screamer. I mean, it could be a shallow coin, but it could also be modern aluminium or even a big bit of lead. 89, 90, 91. Isn't it exciting? It's there. And it looks like something. Well, I don't know what it is. Oh, all the dust coming off my blankie. I think it's bronze. Yeah, I think it is a bit of bronze. Purpose unknown. But it's a thing. Oh well. What a bizarre signal that was. Anything from 70 with an iron tone all the way right up to 85, 90, and it's my first bit of cutlery. It's some sort of, I don't know, pewter or lead alloy spoon, but it's got an iron shank attached to it. Is that the word? You know what I mean. The bit, probably it would have been about that long, with a big spoon or a knife or a fork on the end. And probably, well, it could be Georgian, could be 1800s, but yeah, it's a thing. The rain is on again, unfortunately. Look at this beautiful old wall. Who knows, could be 100, could be a couple of 100 years old. Well, it is probably at least a couple of 100 years old, because on the maps, this field boundary still exists then, so I think it probably is that old. The rain just came on really heavy there for a few minutes, so I put my camera and my recording equipment, my microphone away to keep it dry. And just typical, I get a 9091. It sounds like a great signal, but I've had many of them before. And out pops this, which surely is going to be a coin at 9091. Is it going to be a button? Come on, give us a wee imprint. Not really. Well, I think we'll get something off it, but that is a chunky little coin, isn't it? That's a wee fatty. Right, I'll do my best with a bendy thumb. It could be another token, but yeah, it's very fat if that's a coin. But I'll get back to you in a wee second. We have got our oldest find. It's a farthing, which is a quarter of a penny. Now you can see Britannia, or at least I think it's Britannia, seated. And there's a date at the bottom, which I think is 1734. So if it's 1734, that would make it George II. But the only thing that's confusing me slightly is Britannia looks like it's seated facing to the right-hand side. And I am sure George II's farthings Britannia faces left and is holding out an arm on the left-hand side of the coin. So I'm going to superimpose it, see what you think. But it's definitely a 17 something. So the other side, there is a head there looking to the right-hand side, which again would make it George II, unless it's a European coin. I mean, maybe it's French, maybe it's from somewhere else on the continent, but it looks to me like it's probably George II. So George II was on the throne from 1727 until 1760. If this is from the 1740s or 30s, then what did I say now? Did I say 1734? I think I did. 1734. So if this is from that era, then it's not long before the Jacobite Rebellion with Bonnie Prince Charlie, 1745-46. And, well, a quarter of a penny back in the 1700s would certainly have been a pint of beer in anyone's money, maybe more. So that is the oldest find so far. Brilliant. I've just gone the hour mark and I'm getting ever closer to this big Georgian house. Only 15 foot away from the farthing. Solid, consistent, 86. Has to be a coin. What did I just say? Clod? We've got a clod, I think. Right. Is it going to be... Oh, God, fell apart. Well, there's something there, which is kind of round-ish, broken. It's not another watch, is it? It could be, you know. Right. Let me give this a wee clean up and get back to you. It's another pocket watch, broken, but that would have been the face of the watch. You can see some of the mechanisms in there. You can see a few little cogs with teeth on them, and all corroded, but probably a Victorian pocket watch. Yet another one. Unbelievable. Oh, and date-wise, probably 1850 to the early 1900s. The watch was right there. Right here, just got this. Don't know if it's related, but it almost feels like a lead, to be honest with you. But it's covered in little flowers. So maybe related to the watch, maybe part of a case, but the fact it's made of lead, surely not. But well, it's probably a similar era, 18 into the 1900s. But as ever, let me know in the comments below. What do you always say? If in doubt, dig it out. One wee spadeful on a slightly dodgy target suddenly is banging through at 1991, and right there is, surely, oh, dropped it already, surely a coin. Surely a coin. It looks pretty Georgian to me. I don't think I'm going to get much of an imprint. There's not a lot of soil stuck to it. But there's a leg there, I think, or an arm. So, is that a leg? Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's a token rather than a coin, but it's got the right size for Georgian anyway. So I'll get right back to you. Coin number 3. Folks, it is an absolute cracker. Now, it's not often that you get Georgian coins this good. That's three Georgians, sorry. 3 coins, all of them Georgian, George II, George III. And this is another George III. So you can see his head looking to the right-hand side. Georgius 111 Rex, King. And the other side is even better. Look at that. Not only is it in phenomenal condition, but we've got a clear and very obvious date at the bottom. It looks like 1777. Beautiful coin, absolutely stunning coin. So it clearly shows you there's not been a lot of fertiliser spread on this field, because that tends to eat copper coins. And also it's quite a sandy, gravelly sort of soil, stony, gravelly soil. So clearly those things are helping to preserve the coins. But it's been a long time since I've had 3 coins out the same field, and they've all been Georgian. So we're talking, well, we know what date, 1777, but 3 coins, and all of them from the 1700s. I'm surprised it took so long. We got button number 1, came through at a 52, and you can just make out a unicorn on the right hand side, a lion on the left hand side, a coat of arms in the middle, a crown above, and this is probably World War II era. And this is a general service button. So the unicorn, the national animal of Scotland, and the lion, the national animal of England. So there you go. Probably 1939 to 1945, give or take. Another day, another piece of cutlery. Honestly, cannot go detecting without pocket watches, doorknobs and cutlery. A dodgy 8081, and folks, we might have the first silver of 2024. Oh, what could be? It could be. Ah, it's copper on the back. It's a button. Oh, damn. Damn, I thought it was maybe an early milled silver or something. Ah, right, I'll clean it up in the hope that it's decorated. Oh, what a nightmare. Had me there for a second. I thought that was me off the silver mark. A nice little button though. It's lost the shank, but you can see in the middle there where it would have been. There is a maker around the edge. It looks like it's London, and then best something London, I think it says. But, well, what are we talking? 1800s probably. But yeah, probably late Georgian, 1810, 1820, but maybe into the Victorian period as well. But, well, button number 2, and almost silver. I have to say, this field is fantastic. I've only been going for around about an hour and a half. And the closer I get to the house, the more targets I'm getting. I'm literally walking 10 steps and getting something to dig. And this has just come up. And I think we've got a beautiful military badge. So it's probably Second World War era, but it looks in very good condition. This is obviously the reverse, it's pressed. So give it a wee gentle tickle, and it looks like it's going to have a horse. And maybe a rose on the other side, I'm guessing. A crown at the top. And that is an absolute cracker. East Lancashire. What on earth is East Lancashire doing in Perthshire in Scotland? It's actually a sphinx, it's not a horse. It says Egypt below it, with a rose below that. That is unbelievable. And that is really, really beautiful. What a great condition that's in. That's got to be one of the best cat badges that I've ever found. East Lancashire. I mean, that's probably 400 miles away from where I'm standing. So how on earth did that get here? And obviously Egypt, they must have won some sort of regimental award in Egypt, I'm guessing. But what on earth is that doing in Perthshire? Possibly someone up visiting, possibly someone who was in the army who came to this area to work and brought their military jacket with them. Or maybe it was just someone who bought army surplus after the war to wear it in the fields. Surplus clothing. But either way, that is probably my best ever cap badge. Second World War, I'm guessing, 1939 to 45, but I'll need to look into that. Absolutely stunning. Another rubbish sounding target produces what looks like another coin. Coin number 4. Is it another Georgian? If it is, I can't think of a day where I've had 4 Georgians and no other coinage. Right, I'm going to let this do its thing and then take the bendy thumb to it. Well, I can see maybe a letter there, so maybe we'll get something off it. Thankfully, by the power of the bendy thumb, I am just able to get a head out of that looking to the left-hand side. And it's our good friend George II again. So sometime between 1727 and 1760. And it is a halfpenny. And George II has got the honour of being the last British monarch to lead an army in battle during the the War of the Austrian Succession, which consumed much of Europe. It was largely a Catholic versus Protestant war. And he led the army in, I think, 1743 or 44 at the Battle of Dettingen or Dettigen or something like that during that Austrian War of Succession. So, just enough detail to tell you that it's Gorgeous George II of the Gorgeous. And on this side, you can just see the letters I and A. Whereabouts are they again? I've lost them now. Yeah, they are there. For Britannia. So Britannia seated on the reverse. So there you go. We've got 4 coins, and all of them are from the 1700s. It's well seen I'm next to a Georgian Manor House. Sunshine, blue skies. So I'm recording this because there's a chance that I've actually got enough footage in an hour and 45 minutes for a video. So if you're watching this, I must have done pretty well in the remaining 2.5 to 3 hours that I've got for the rest of today. In which case I've decided to break it up into a 2-part video. So part 2 will be coming in a few days' time. And well, part 1, if this is part 1, has been phenomenal. 4 Georgian coins, beautiful cap badge, a few other bits and pieces as well. So hopefully the closer I get to the big manor house on the other side of this wall to my left, the better it will get. So if you like what you see and you're not already subscribed, then please hit that button. And hopefully I'll see you for part 2. See you soon.